Welcome all. So this is our second student talk. Let me introduce our chair for this session. So Dr. Satyajit Thakur, he is assistant professor in the School of Computing and Electrical Engineering at IIT Mandi, and his research interests include information theory and network coding. So Professor Thakur.
Thank you, Adrish, for the introduction. And hello, everybody. Welcome to this session with two live talks, student talk and young faculty talk. First, there is a student talk of 20 minutes, followed by 5 minutes for Q&A. You may share your questions under the public chat menu. So let me first introduce our first speaker, Kota Srinivas Reddy. Kota Srinivas Reddy recently gave his PhD defense in electrical engineering with IIT Bombay. His PhD advisor was Professor Nikhil Karamchandani. He received the MTech degree in telecommunication systems engineering from IIT Kharagpur in 2014. And his research interests are in the area of probability theory, information theory, coded caching, and learning theory. He will give the talk on structured index coding problem and multi-access coded caching. Welcome, Srinivas.
Thank you, sir. Hi, everyone. I am Srinivas, a postdoctoral fellow from IIT Bombay. Now I am going to talk about structured index coding problem and multi-access coded caching. This is joint work with my PhD and postdoctoral supervisor, Professor Nikhil Karamchandani. We generally see this type of offers in shopping malls. I also came across similar type of offer in a shopping mall. Then a question came to my mind. That is, can we get similar type of offers in our research field? The answer is yes. One such area is information theory only. And in particular, we are going to see this type of offer in structured index coding problems. That is a particular problem related to index coding. First, we discuss an example. Consider an index coding problem with a central server which contains n files, each of size 1 unit. There are 3 users, 1, 2, 3, and each user requests one file. In particular, user 1 requests file x11, user 2 requests file x21, user 3 requests file x31. Each user has one file as side information. The side information structure is user 1's side information is its right side user 2's requested file x21, and user 2's side information is its right side user 3's requested file x31, and user 3 has its right side user 1's requested file x11 as side information. In the a message such that each user is able to recover its requested file using the central server message and the side information it has. And our aim is to reduce the data transmission rate between the central server and ISP. So for this index coding problem, the central server can transmit 3 messages directly, like x11, x21, x31 directly, so that each user is able to recover its corresponding messages. But we can do better than this by using index coding. That is, instead of transmitting 3 messages, we can transmit only 2 messages given here. And using these messages, every user is able to recover its corresponding messages. For example, if you take user 1, it needs x11. It can recover x11 from message 1 because it knows x21 as side information. Similarly, other users also able to recover its corresponding requested files. So the data transmission in this 1 is less than or equal to 2. And we can also easily show that the optimal transmission rate is 2 for this problem. And consider the second instance of the same problem. Here, user 1 requests file x12, user 2 requests file x22, and user 3 requests file x32. Means the indexes are represented by 2. And now the side information structure is little different. In the previous case, each have its right side user's requested file as side information. Now each user has its left side user file as side information. That is, user 1 has its left side user 3's requested file x32, and user 2 has its left side user 1's requested file x12 as side information, and user 3 has its left side user 2's requested file x22 as side information. And similar to previous case, the optimal transmission rate is 2 units, and those 2 are given by the messages shown here. Now, in our problem, in this setup, we are defined union of the index coding problems. The union is defined as follows. Similar, if we club these two instances, then the third instance is an index coding problem. Here also the central server contains n files, and similar to the first two instances, but the files needed by user one is the files needed in the first instance plus files needed in the second instance. So the union is formed by needed files are union of first two instances and for each user. So here x11 from first instance and x12 from second instance. And similarly, others user also need their two files. Now the side information structure is also union of the first two instances. Here x21 is from the first instance and x32 from the second instance. So in the union of the ICPs, the requested files are union of the individual instances, and the side information is union of the individual instances. Now to solve this index coding problem, we can transmit 4 messages, two from first instance and 2 from second instance. We have shown earlier, and using these 4 messages, we can serve these corresponding index coding problem. But because of the union, we are able to do better than that. Instead of transmitting above 4 messages, we can 3 messages, and using these 3 messages, every user is able to recover its corresponding files from the side information it has. For example, if we take user 1, it needs x11 and it can recover x11 from message 1 because it knows x32 as side information. And similarly, user 1 wants x21 from message 2 because it knows x12 as side information. Similarly, every user is able to recover its corresponding requested files. And we can see that the data transmission rate by the union, we are able to 3 units. So this shows that by if we buy these two problems together, we are able to reduce the data transmission rate from 4 to 3, that is 20% discount. So this example illustrates the advantage with union of index coding problem. And problem index coding problem named as AI-1 bar LICP. So before defining that, we first discuss some preliminaries related to index coding problem. In the index coding problem, there is a central server which contains some files, and there are some users. Each user needs some set of files. So each user requests some set of files, and each user has some other set of files as the side information. So for example, in this example, central server contains n files, and there are 3 users: user 1, user 2, user 3. And user 1 needs file x1, user 2 needs file x2, and user 3 needs file x3. And user 1 side information is x2, x3, user 2 side information is x1, and user 3 don't have any side information. And the central server transmits a message so that each user is able to recover its corresponding files using the central server message and the side information it has. And our aim is to reduce the data transmission, reduce the central server transmission. In general, finding the optimal transmission rate of a general ICP is still an open problem, but there are some upper and lower bounds are given in the literature. These upper bounds are based on chromatic number, local chromatic number of the side information graph, and lower bounds are based on maximum acyclic individual subgraphs, dimension counting, etc. Even though these bounds are given in the literature, finding them is hard. And the second issue with these bounds is we don't know the quality of these bounds. Hence, in our paper, we particularly consider AI-1 dash A1 bar LICP, and for this particular ICP, optimal transmission. So, in that, first we give some notations related to information theory. Index coding problem. In the index coding problem, an index coding problem completely represented by each user's individual information. Its want set WK and available side information set AK. So in the want set represents the set of files requested by user K. Set represents a set of files available at the user K. So we can represent any index coding problem by giving each user's individual information. And here the set of files neither requested nor available at particular user are called interference set of the particular user. And we represent with set IK. So first we define AI-1 dash A1 L ICP. This ICP is a symmetrical ICP in which relative to a user position, all the relative to a user position, all the side and structured index interference positions are same. So if we arrange the users in a circle in clockwise direction, then relative to a user position, first we see AI interference users, then L side users, then AI minus 1 interference users, information users, and so on. It ends with A1 interference users. If we take 2112 ICP, this ICP contains 9 users, and if we arrange 9 users on a circle in, and here also we highlighted user 2 side information and interference structure. So user 2 is requesting file x2, and if we go from x2, then we first see A3 equal to 2 interference files x3 x4, then L equal to 2 side information, then A2 equal to 1 x7 as side interference file, then again L equal to 2 side information files, and it ends with 1 interference file x1. Now we will see another example. Same 2112 ICP and the side information structure for user 3. So user 3 file x3, and if we go from user 3 in clockwise direction, we first see 2 interference files x4 x5, then 2 side information file x6 x7, 1 interference file x8, and then 2 side information file x9 x1, and x2 is the last interference file. So in A1 ICP, if we arrange the users on a clockwise direction, we first see AI interference files, L files, and then AI minus 1 interference files and L side information files, and it ends with A1 files. Union of ICPs. So if it given by it's each user's individual information, like one set WK1 and available side information set and side information set AK2. Then the union of these two instances is given by one set is the union of WK1 plus WK1 and WK2, and available side information set is the union of AK1 and AK2. In general, we can extend this union of ICP's definition to any number of instances, and we particularly define AI A-1 dash dash A1 bar L ICP is the union of I particular structured ICPs, which are AI A-1 dash dash A1 L ICP, and one circular rotation of it, that is A1 AI A-1 dash dash A2 L ICP, and so on. AI-1 AI-2 dash dash A1 comma AI L ICP. So AI A-1 dash dash A1 bar L ICP is the union of these I ICPs, which are circular rotations of each other. And if we go back to our previous example, so in the first instance, each user has its right side user's requested file as side information, and we can represent this example as 011 ICP. That is, if we go from a particular user, we first see 0 interference files, then one side information file, then one interference user. So here we have also shown that structure, and here we highlighted user one's requested file with x11. And if we go from x11 in clockwise direction, we first see 0 interference files, then one side information file x21, and after that we can see one interference file x31 of user one. So if we go from a particular user, we can see the structure 011 ICP. And the second instance where the right side file is side information, then in that case the the ICP is represented as 101 ICP. And the union of these two ICPs is union of 011 ICP and 101 ICP, and it is represented by 10 bar 1 ICP. We calculate the optimal, we given a upper bound on the data transmission rate of AI-1 dash 1 bar L ICP, and the upper bound is shown here. We also derive a lower bound in terms of system parameters, and the multiplicative gap between the upper bound and lower bound is at most 2. So we can say that our results are order-wise optimal. We can also show exact optimality for some special cases. So one special 0 L ICP. So here except here remaining all values of ages are equal to 0. And for this one, the optimal transmission rate is given by k minus I minus 1 into L. Transmission rate for AI minus 1 dash A1 bar 1 ICP, that is general AI minus 1 dash A1 bar L ICP, but L equal to 1. And in this case, the optimal transmission rate is k. So till now we have seen what is AI minus 1 dash A1 bar L ICP, and we have also seen the results corresponding to these ICPs. Now the question is, where can we see this type of particular structured index coding problems? And one particular application of this index coding problem is multi-access coded caching problem. In the multi-access coded caching problem, there is a central server which contains n files, each of size 1 unit, and there are k users and k caches, each of size m units. Each user is connected to L consecutive caches with a cyclic wraparound. That is, in this figure we have shown for L equal to 2. That is, user 1 is connected to cache 1, cache user 2 is connected to cache 2, cache 3, and so on. User is connected to cache k and circularly to cache 1. And there are two phases in the system. Placement phase, in which we decide what to store on the caches. And after the placement phase, users reveal their request. Then in the delivery phase, we decide what to transmit on the broadcast channel, so that each user is able to recover its requested file using the central server transmitted message and also the cache content available to it. And our aim is to design this to reduce the worst case transmission rate between the server and if we see this multi-access coded caching problem, in this problem, if we fix the user request pattern and the placement policy, then the multi-access coded caching problem will be exactly similar to coding problem, because each user requests some files and each user have the cached content as side information. So this problem is exactly equivalent to index coding problem. And for this multi-access coded problem, we use our structured index coding problem results to get better upper bounds. So we will see how we are going to apply this structured index coding problem results to this problem through an example. This example contains 4 files A, B, C, D, each of size 1 unit, and there are 4 users and 4 caches, each of size 1 unit. Each user is connected to L equal to 2 caches, that is user 1 to cache 1, cache 2, user 2 to cache 2, cache 3, and so on. And in the placement phase, first what we do is we rename the caches. Like cache 1 is available to user 1 and user 4, so we rename it as 4.1. Cache 2 is available to user 1 and user 2, so we rename it as 1.2, and cache 2 is available to cache 3 is available to user 2 and 3, so we rename it as 2.3, and so on. Then we divide each file into 4 subfiles, and we equal size, and they are given by A41, A12, A23, A34. And similarly, all the files are divided into their corresponding subfiles, and they will be renamed according to the cache names. Then all the A41 files are stored, all the 41 files are stored in cache 1, that is A41, B41, C41, D41 are stored in cache 1. And similarly, the other subfiles are stored in their corresponding caches. Observe that each subfile size is 1/4, and since we are storing only 4 subfiles, so the total data transmission, the total cache size is equal to 1 unit. The memory constraint is satisfied here. Now, the placement policy, let the request pattern be A, B, C, D. That is, user 1 is requesting A and so on. That means user 1 requests 4 subfiles. File A is nothing but 4 subfiles, A41, A12, A23, A4, A34, similarly for all users. But out of these 4 subfiles, this subscripted 1 files are already available at the corresponding caches, and so it is available at user 1. So A41, A12 are already available to user 1. It needs only 2 more subfiles, A23, A34. Similarly, each user needs one. So now each user is needed 2 subfiles, and we can form some of the like C41 is available for user 1 and so on. So this will form an instance of index coding problem. And if we see the first column, like A23, A34, A4, C41, and D12, so this will represent 102 ICP, because user 1 is requesting file A23, and if we go from user 1, we first to see one interference file B34, which is not available at it. Then we see two side information files C41, D12, and it ends with 0 interference file. So this will represent 102 ICP. Here D12 and C41 are side information file because it contains one I subscript. That means it is already available to user 1. So the first column elements will represent 102 ICP. Second column, then it will represent sorry. So this is also same column 1 with 102 ICP, means with respect to user 2, and the second column will represent 012 ICP. So the union of these two ICP is 10 bar 2 ICP. And we have already seen the optimal transmission rate for this particular one, and that is given by 3. And those corresponding 3 messages are given here. Using these 3 messages, every user is able to recover its corresponding files. Because user 1 wants file A23, it can recover from message 1 because it knows all other subfiles B41, C12, D12, which contain one in its cache. Similarly, every user is able to recover its corresponding requested files. The main results corresponding to given by the upper bound shown here at corner point m equal to I n by k. This expression is very cumbersome. So it's difficult to compare our results with the other works in the literature. So we have considered a particular example which contain n equal to k equal to 8 and l equal to 2, m equal to n by k, and we have evaluate the rate expression for the other works in the literature, and this table shows the corresponding values. And from this table, we can clearly see that our policy performs better than the all other works existing in the literature for this example. And we are also able to show that our transmission rate is better than Hasham's rate for all values of system parameters. And we also analytically show that our performance is better than our previous work given here. So these are corresponding to multi-access coded caching problem, and these are the some of the references related to multi-access coded caching problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Srinivas, for this interesting talk. So, audience, if you have any questions, you can type in Q&A. Okay, so we got the first question. Question is, in general, if you have X files and Y caches, each with capacity M, Z users, each connected to L caches, how do you decide what should be the subfile size?
That depend upon like km by n. Like I divide each file into okay. Sorry, can you repeat the question? Means I did not remember the parameters.
Okay, so can you have a look? I mean, you can see it. So that may be easier for you.
I am getting this form, not the
under Q&A. Can you see under Q&A?
Oh, okay. So in our setting, that y is equal to z first of all, and this setting sorry. So what will happen is this will based on some particular subset some particular subsets we will form, and based on that we decide what to store in the cache. So these particular details are given in the paper. We form a particular sets which contains which will store which contains I subsets, and whose distance will be at least L between those two sets.
Can you explain the logic? How do you decide on that? That would be good enough. Some intuition on how you do that.
Okay, sir. So shall I share one more document like
so it'd be good if you can give very quick explanation.
Yes sir, 1 minute. Are you able to see these documents?
Well, we see your presentation slides.
Yeah. Okay. So I first form this subset S cap, which will be like collection of subsets of 1 to k, whose cardinality is I, and I means km by n. And also we form no two elements will be like separated, should be greater than or equal to n. For example, if we take k equal to 5 and l equal to 2, m equal to 2, then I equal to, means I need to form subsets of size 2. But there are total 10 subsets are there. 5 choose 2 are 10. But I will consider only subsets which are whose circular distance will be greater than or equal to 2. So for example, 1, 3, if we take this, then the distance is at least 2, 1, 4, 2, 4, 2, 5, and 3, 5. So I will form subsets of like this, and I will divide each file into cardinality of S have tilde, and we assign one subfile to one of these sets, and we store them corresponding to that. So for example, here the cardinality is 5. So I am dividing each file into sub 5 subfiles. And if I give 1, 3 to this red color, then I will store in cache 1 and cache 3. So the advantage with this storage is it is available to 4 number of users if I give this circular distance. And instead of that, if I store in cache 1 and cache 5, it is available only to 3 number of users. So that is the placement policy advantage. Will it
Thanks, Srinivas. So I think now we need to move on. So in a couple of minutes, we will move to the next talk. So we will have a couple of minutes of break right now. Thank you.
Thank you.